What's up, everybody? This is your boy Eddie with Flex Machine Tools, and welcome to this episode of Flex and Friends, our video cast and podcast experience where I get to sit down with, chat with, hang out with, and pick the brain of the industry's loudest, proudest, best, brightest, most passionate, and profound thought leaders. And we are talking about everything, you guessed it, manufacturing. So today, as always, you know that I am bringing absolute gangsters for guests, and this week is no exception of that. As a fellow hat fan myself, this is the hat girl. You know her a little bit of her. Let's bring in our girl, Hallie. Yo. Hey, you are officially in the Flex and Friends platform. First and foremost, how you doing, girl?
Good. How are you?
As well with my soul. And also, it's a great day to have a great day and talk about manufacturing. So, man, let's just jump right in because I know people didn't come to hear me talk. We got to listen to you, what you got going on, what you're doing. And as we do this for individuals who may live under a rock per se, or don't have any type of smartphone, don't even check LinkedIn, man, for that very rare individual that does not know who you are, we got to get to know you personally and professionally. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So, personally, I am a daughter, sister, wife, and friend. I like to say I'm a free spirit and an old soul at the same time. I am born and raised small town girl. I love the outdoors and being out on the water. And if I'm not at IQ, I am with family or playing with my dog.
A free spirit and an old soul. My girl, I knew I liked you. So way to kick things off. That's seriously great. And I love to be able to hear a little bit more kind of about like what you're passionate about, really what means the most to you. So speaking of passion, I need to know, what in the world are you passionate about?
So, I can't say manufacturing.
There you go.
That's a little cliche, but one of the things I'm super passionate about is cameras, which is kind of weird. But I picked up my first camera at 16 and never really set it down. I really like to tinker with like the vintage black and white film cameras. So I like learning everything about it and getting to know more about what cameras were like back in the day because it's way different now.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's crazy how we have all these megapixels just in our pocket. I remember when I first, got into the world of professional selling per se. I worked at a Verizon Wireless, and everyone was stoked if you had like 1 or 2 megapixels on your camera, which is crazy and unheard of, years before. So exciting things. And speaking of exciting, let's get some guests up here. We got Jessica. Thank you for hitting this up live. She is excited for this from Denver, Colorado. Super jealous of you. I'm coming out to visit. I'm on my way now. But hey, Jessica, thank you so much. And we got another comment here from this. Who we got? This is Vince. Vince, appreciate you. He says, I'm here. Sorry I'm late. Hey, better late than never. You'll get away with it this time. You're lucky you're cute. But hey, Vince, appreciate you as well as anybody else. This is live. Make sure you hop in any type of platform. We're going live on 3 different. But again, you didn't come here to talk to me. We are here to check out this chick here. So we know who you are personally, professionally. We know what you're passionate about. What we need to know now is how you got into manufacturing. Go on, feed us, girl.
So I don't think I've told this story, so I'm a little bit excited about it. But I got into this industry by complete accident. In March of 2020, I was working at a community college. And as we know, 2020 was a crap year for all of us. And COVID took over the country, and I was told that I was going to go home for a week. Then that week turned into 2. And then those weeks were turning into months. And I was like, I need to find a job.
Yeah.
So I kind of ventured out, and I had some acquaintances in the industry who needed help with their small CNC shop. And I really liked learning about the work and the complexity of the industry. And I just really liked learning about it. Now, I didn't really like the environment there, and I felt that there wasn't much room for growth. So I decided to venture out, and that's how I found IQ.
There we are. And there she is. And also, hey, speaking of such things with all this engagement we've got going on, the chat box is hot today because Tom says, back in the day when I was filming TV shows, this guy, hey, Tom, appreciate you jumping in, as well as Dana. Dana says, hello. Hey, Dana, what's up? Good to have you. Everybody here, everyone wants to talk and get in the chat box here on Haley's episode. So now we know who you are, personally, professionally, what you're passionate about, how you got into the manufacturing landscape. Let's kind of discuss more kind of where you're at now and what it is that you're doing. Put it all together for me.
So I am with IQ Manufacturing in Auburn Hills, Michigan. I've been here about a year and a half, and I absolutely love it. Um, I had I guess I didn't really think that manufacturing was going to be part of my career path. And I thought it was just a stepping stone to get where I was going. And now I'm proud to say that I found my place here at IQ. And I absolutely love it. And I'd like to say that I'm doing something for manufacturing by advocating to young individuals and educating them more on how this career is something you should consider and a career path that can really get you somewhere in life. Because there's a lot of stereotypes about this industry, and I don't think people really understand what we're doing here.
True, true, and I like that. The big resurgence of women in manufacturing, which we'll talk about that a little bit more. And it's like the voices are getting louder, and it's just wonderful to see you also being a part of that. So as we continue with our specific comments, we've got Ibrahim. Hey, he says hello. Appreciate you. And then look at this, my man Philippe coming in from France. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm assuming day is of or from, but I see France. So you already know. Do you know who this is, Haley?
No.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, Flex and Friends is in France. That's when you know you may have made it. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. All right, cool. Well, as we keep this conversation, you are really doing some cool things. You're really making some noise and being unique and really advocating for just your specific role of manufacturing and in manufacturing. I think it's inspiring. It really is in a lot of different ways. And one thing I know you and I talked about was just marketing within manufacturing. It's something you're in, it's something you're seeing, but I love getting other marketers' perspectives, and I'd love to know what it is that you're observing, what specific trends you may be seeing in that world. Go ahead and feed us, girl.
So I feel like marketing has really taken a different path in the way that we're marketing. I think COVID kind of helped with that because we had to kind of adapt to a new way of marketing because we couldn't do it in person anymore. And there are a lot of people here who do it the way that's going. But there's also people here who are taking advantage of it, like you and I. And another thing that I'm observing is the people in this industry who are doing the same thing like you and I are doing. And we are here supporting each other, doing things in different ways to make ourselves individually stand out as marketing individuals. I just think it's really cool to see that and see how benefiting the industry itself.
True. True. Because it's just different. And I love how marketing is kind of coming to the forefront and people are legitimately taking it very, very seriously and recognizing that it's not your old boys network anymore. I mean, of course, handshakes and things along those lines work, but people are doing research before. And what is your brand? What is being said? There's lots of cool things and new specific things happening. And we are getting loud. Speaking of loud, Jessica comes back on in and she says, let's get loud. I'm all about turning it up to 11 and getting weird. So it sounds like Jessica is on board. I appreciate you. And then Tom, for the clarification for those who are not fluent in Francois, like this guy here, he says it means hello from France. So we are officially in France. That's good, Tom. Appreciate you for clarifying because if you leave your boy to his own device, I'll mess it up. So continue our conversation, Haley. A lot of cool things that that you're doing in addition to learning the industry as a newbie. In your experience, because everyone has their own, you get to kind of play that coming in as a newbie as well as being a female in the manufacturing world. How was that curve for you? And I want you to dive deep into this one. Tell us about your learning curve, your experience, and then we can maybe end it with a couple of tips you'd recommend for anybody else who's either considering or jumping into it. What do you have for us?
So I came into this industry a single thing about it. Didn't know the terminology or anything. And I remember it was kind of hard for me at first to learn it. There's so much to learn in this industry, and I'm still learning it. I don't know everything, and I'm not going to. But I remember the first video I posted online was a photo of someone tapping a hole into a part. And I said on in the caption, I said drilling a hole, which is not the correct terminology.
Oh no!
So much crap for it. So much crap for it. And at that point, I was just super embarrassed, quickly changing things. But at that point, I was like, I need to learn the terminology and really like grasp it so that I know what I'm talking about. And I think one of my biggest tips is that ask questions. Find someone who's going to help guide you through it, because that's the best thing you can do for yourself, is really retain the information and learn it, so that when you're in a space where you need to talk about it, you know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel like to give you some comfort, we've all been there before. We all have. And I even know a specific individual here at Flex who will remain nameless. But he, because when you have two zeros in a specific reading, you usually say like aught 80, example. And he was describing to a machinist who had been doing it longer than he has been alive. He had to say double aught 80. And dude, the machinist instantly, he said, instantly knew that he didn't know what he was talking about, and then proceeded to just verbally embarrass him. And I'm like, I never want that to happen. So I've kept my mouth shut until I know for sure what I'm talking about. Right. So, and considering and speaking of what's being talked about, this chat box is just hot. We've got LinkedIn user, which very well may be Ann Wyatt. I think that's a good safe assumption. But she says, turn up. I'm about it. I'm about it. And then Matthew Snyder. Thank you, my man. He says, old school versus new school. IQ has a fresh approach, giving us a little bit of that shake and bake. Another LinkedIn user could be Ann Wyatt again. If not, it's another LinkedIn user. Says, Eddie, thank you for bringing the energy. Love this podcast. Oh my gosh. LinkedIn user, I don't know who you are, but you're my new best friend, and I appreciate you. And then we've got yet another comment from LinkedIn users. Either LinkedIn hates someone specifically, or they hate everybody and everyone's just a user. But represent Haley. Yes, the power in asking questions is incalculable. That is just some wonderful stuff. And then also, do you want to give actually, man, look at this. We've got more comments. Haley, I just can't. Everyone just wants to talk. You got a popular episode here. I work with manufacturing often, and it's very refreshing to see more women at the forefront. So knowing that, how does that specific statement make you feel? Like straight up, like what's your surface level reaction to that?
With women being at the forefront,
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I really like seeing women coming in here and definitely just killing it in the industry. I mean, there's enough room for all of us, so why not take advantage of it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, and even more love. Dana says, Haley, you're awesome. Look at that. Look at that. And then
Thanks, Dana.
also we have our LinkedIn user being identified as the Shannon Nelson. So Shannon Nelson, we appreciate you and Jessica for letting us know exactly who it is that's out there giving a little bit of love. And then we've got the little bit of thank you. So Shannon, we really, really appreciate each and every one of you. But keep those comments coming, because unless it's really stupid, I'm going to pull it up and we'll talk about it, right? So keep it rocking and rolling. But as we keep the conversation going, Haley, we talked about some things you're seeing within the marketing world, but within manufacturing in general, what's a big trend? Everyone's got different perspectives. I need to know a big trend.
So I wouldn't say this is a trend necessarily, but it's definitely something I like seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla EVs and the entire robotic industry has made manufacturing cool for kids again. I see so many like high school kids and college kids wanting to engage with it more. And at a time where there's a scarcity of young individuals in this industry, I think it's really important that more companies like get behind that movement, because these are the people that are going to be running it in 20 years. But like even at IMTS, I don't remember the exact number, but how many kids were there just running around looking at those robots, just so fascinated by it. It's just I love seeing it.
Mm-hmm. It is interesting, and as a parent myself of four, I just never really considered too much the importance of just subjecting my kids to that, just to see what they feel. My dad has worked at a factory for as long as I know, and he runs it now, and so he got me into that very early so that I could see if that was a path specifically that I wanted to pursue. And then of course he tried to talk me out of it completely because of his specific experience. He's like, Eddie, go out and do this, but as you know, and I'm sure you probably had the same thing, you can kind of tell me, did you have a lot of pressure? Just, oh, you got to go to college to make anything of yourself?
A little bit, yeah. There were some people that were trying to push it, but I just
Mhm.
kind of, I still went, but I did my own thing. You can't listen to what everybody else is telling you to do. You got to follow your heart.
Follow your heart, says the old soul and the free spirit. I love it. I love it. So, and I know that I've seen you at a couple of events. You've been kind of running around. So if you're cool sharing with us, like, where have you been? What are some of the bigger events you've been able to be a part of? You've been on a panel, you've been doing some speaking. Like, where have you been this year? It's been a pretty big year for you.
It has been a pretty big year, and I definitely didn't expect to do as much as I've been doing. But I was at AME back in August, and I spoke on a women's panel with Megan Zimba, Lauren Liddell, and Emily Wilkins, and that was super awesome. I have Joni Cunningham to thank for that. She definitely got me into that, so that's awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
then I am that was like I've been to a few local trade shows, but IMTS was insane. How huge it was, how many people were there, the experience. At IMTS, I was on the IMTS Plus Creators Lounge with James Soto and our COO Chris Branicki. So we talked a little bit about IQ, what it was like for me, my hat girl story, all that kind of fun stuff. So it was really cool.
So I'm intrigued. I know we're kind of going off script a little bit, if you will. Not that we have a script, but like I'm going to kind of go off key a little bit. I don't know this hat girl story. I know like you got the hat girl thing. Like, are you cool to share that? Is this something that we could talk about? Because I gotta know.
Yeah, and I'm really mad at myself. I have a wall full of hats, and I didn't bring one in here in the conference room. But the
You're
hat girl
good.
story, we were looking at a few machines to buy, and I remember I posted a photo on LinkedIn and a gym hat, not manufacturing related at all, but we had some contenders for this machine that we were going to buy, and one of them was Haas, and our Gerotech sales guy, the Haas salesman, comes in with a hat. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And he's like, I saw your hat. So I posted a photo on that. And then the next day, the Dynamic Machine sales rep comes out with a hat. And then a week later, the Eurotech sales guy comes out with a hat, and then they just kept like the name just kind of took off from there, and I just ran with it.
Nice. Then like I got something for you. Hold on. You won't be able to hear this in the podcast, but I got something put on the video cast. You're gonna love this. No joke. These probably 20 plus hats that I have received since my time here at Flex. I have to use two arms now because these are all the hats. I will gladly send them to you. I love everybody who sends me them, but I can't wear all of them all the time. But as you can see here, a freaking arm's length worth of this hats. My goodness.
Jealous.
I'm gonna throw them all over. Don't be, because I tell you what, the bad thing about having so many stinking hats is like you only got one head to wear them, right?
True. This is true.
You got it. But so as the hat girl, I'm glad we were able to clarify that. And I'm glad I was finally able to show somebody who appreciates a good hat, this obnoxious collection that I've thankfully been able to accumulate over my time here. But it's so much. It's so much, Haley. It's so much. But I dig it. I'm surprised you didn't wear a hat today. Your hair looks great, by the way. Your hair is absolute fire per usual. But I'm surprised you didn't wear a hat today, but I completely understand.
I know I'm mad at myself for it, but that's okay.
Don't be mad. Like, it'd be weird if I didn't wear a hat because you just see the gloss off my forehead this entire time. But with that being said, let's rein it back in so I can kind of get myself in control here. But with that, we've really gone over a lot of different things here, learned a lot about you, what it is you're trying to do. But for those of us who are trying to keep up with you, what you're doing, learn about all these speaking engagements that you'll be doing, and also just kind of check out your company, where can we get more info?
So you can find me on LinkedIn. It's just Hallie Haupt. You can also find me on Instagram as well. It's Hallie with IQ underscores in between each word. And then you can find our company on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And then you can check us out at www.iqmanufacturing.com. And the site was just updated. We're still tinkering with it, but definitely check it out. Tell me what you think.
Definitely check it out. And last but certainly last, we got Gary here. Says, so glad for Mrs. Haley and all of her accomplishments. May you continue to grow. There is so much love in this chat box for you. My laptop's getting heavy with all this love you got, girl. That's amazing stuff.
I appreciate it, everyone.
Yes, and that's what it's for, featuring the industry's latest, greatest, loudest, proudest, most bright, all that fun stuff. You are definitely within that box. So it is Haley. It's not Hallie, dang it. It's Haley. And she's an absolute gangster in the world of manufacturing. We appreciate you. We appreciate every single individual who jumped in that live chat box. You are what make this show exciting. So, hey, for future, check out Flex and Friends. We're putting up content every single week, going live on the YouTube. We're going live on Facebook as well as LinkedIn. So check out our socials, and for more information, you can check us out at flexmachinetools.com. But this has been this episode of Flex and Friends, powered by Union Trade Gear. You all stay awesome. You stay flexing, and we will surely see you next time.